Bhakti course, and we heartily welcome and appreciate your efforts and endeavor to learn Bhakti Sastri. 4 books, particularly Bhagavad Gita, NOI, NOD, and which one is the next? NOI, NOD, and the Ishopanishad, of course. So we're expecting His Grace Vanchivadan Prabhu at 7:40 to take this orientation session, and I'll introduce myself, and then I'll take your brief introduction, each of you. Please tell me your name. The name is visible, so no need to tell your name. And you can rename with your name itself. So there shouldn't be any iPhone or something. So we would like to know your name and where you come from and what's your main service in the temple and when did you join Krishna Consciousness Movement. So myself, Rasala Das, I'm from ISKCON Rohini, and I'm the nodal officer for Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. So I'm responsible for organizing Bhakti Shastri, taking care of the standards, exams, assessment, and coordination with teachers, anything related with Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. So this is an attempt to start this English course with the online batch. And we have the diverse audience from Ludhiana, ISKCON Rohini, ISKCON Punjabi Bagh here, Gangtok, Dehradun, and maybe more, 1 or 2 are added from different locations. So could we start from Vivek Dang? That's the first person I see on my screen. So we would like to know 4 things from you. No need to tell your name. So your main service in the temple, where do you come from, and when did you join Krishna Conscious Movement? So we'll finish it off until 7:40 and try to complete as many devotees as of you. And thereafter, we'll begin with the orientation program with His Grace Vanchivadan Prabhu. Yes, Vivek Dang Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna to all devotees. I'm from Ludhiana, Punjab, and I don't have any regular seva in temple, but whenever they call me, I just present myself there.
Okay, thank you so much. Jai Advait Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I'm right now in Gurugram, but I live in Perth, Australia, and I joined the Krishna Conscious Movement in 2012. A disciple of His Holiness Devamrit Swami. And my regular service at temple is communications, just writing articles and doing emceeing and pretty much anything and everything to do with public relations and write-ups.
Thank you so much. Now this is John Gurung.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and everyone, Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam. So I'm from Gangtok, ISKCON, and recently here staying as the practicing Brahmachari here under His Grace Madhav Kanja Prabhuji. So my service is whatever Prabhuji ordered me to do, I try to follow him. So that's the thing, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Now I see Harshita Sharma.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. I'm from ISKCON Rohini Temple. I was introduced to Krishna Consciousness in 2016, and I'm connected to IGF and serving under Her Grace Sadhguru Sevanandani Mataji in Bhakti Vriksha.
Good. Thank you so much. Now we have Pavan Mandani.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Myself, Pawan Badnani. I joined Krishna Consciousness Movement 2 years back. That's on 17th of October. And currently my service is with IYF Rohini. That is small services I do.
Thank you so much. Now we have Priyanka Uniyal.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, I do small services in IGF classes, and I came to ISKCON in 2021.
Okay, now we have it's Pushti and Samyak Malik. So I think you both are together in the one video, or you both are enrolled, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So
tell about when did you join ISKCON Movement and what's your main service in temple?
Actually, my family is already involved in ISKCON, so I'm into Krishna consciousness from by birth, and
Oh.
he has joined ISKCON from past 2 years, and we don't have any services right now, but we're trying to connect with devotees, and we want to learn from this course so that we can preach our youth.
But
Them.
which location are you from exactly?
Ludhiana, yeah. ISKCON Jan-
Ludhiana. So now we have Vivek Gupta.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. So I have been attached to ISKCON since birth. Actually, I've got birth in a Krishna conscious family. So I have been associated with ISKCON Janpat Ludhiana. And recently I have been in the service in the temple for youth preaching and other overall temple festivals preparations. So yeah, it has been a quite very overwhelming experience in ISKCON. Thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see devotees taking birth into Krishna conscious movement as Prabhupada predicted. So yes, Kanchan Varna Gorangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. So I am from ISKCON Punjabi Bagh. I was introduced to Krishna consciousness at the end of 2020 or beginning of 2021. And my services include, I'm serving as a Bhakti Vriksha servant leader with one Mataji in IGA, and also as Nam Hatta coordinator for new girls. So yeah, Hare Krishna.
You made a rapid advancement just 2 years ago. So yeah, Dhyanvita Bhakti Devi Mataji, would you introduce yourself?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam and Dandavat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas. So please accept my humble obeisances. I am from ISKCON Rohini and Krishna consciousness. I was introduced to Krishna consciousness in 2011. I am under the shelter of His Grace Prabhu Kripa Prabhu and Her Grace Ramchandra Mataji.
Okay. Okay, now Priya Parashar Mataji. Just to get to know each other. Yes, Mataji, you can unmute yourself. You're muted still.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. I am from ISKCON Rohini. I have joined the ISKCON around 2016 through my sister, my cousin sister, and I did proofreading service, online proofreading of Prabhupada's letters from English to Hindi.
Okay, now the next, this Sumitra Chetri Mataji. I don't know what is OVB, but yes, Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I am from ISKCON Gantok. I joined Krishna Consciousness movement back in 2 years, 2021, and for now I am doing small service in temple only, like garlic making seva and all that stuff. Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Now we have the next Nandini Chandravali Mataji.
Krishna Prabhuji, then please accept my humble obeisances. So I introduced in Krishna consciousness.
I think, Mati, your network is not audible to me. I mean, your voice is not audible. Network is a problem there. We will come back to you later. Maybe you can arrange yourself in a way you can speak. Next, we'll speak. We will like to hear from Rishabh and Krisha. Rishabh Prabhu and Krisha Madhavi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees on board.
Please accept our humble obeisances.
We are associated with Krishna consciousness since last 5 years, and we are from Ludhiana, Punjab. And we have joined this. We don't have any such particular service, but on every Sunday we try to do the service of
Prasadam distribution, Sunday feast festival.
Sunday feast, yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Now we have the next one is Aradhya Mataji. Would you introduce yourself?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm from ISKCON Ludhiana. My family is already a part of ISKCON, so I am into Krishna consciousness from birth. And I don't have any particular service in the temple. I try to do whatever I'm told to.
Good. Thank you so much. So yeah, the next one is we have Jonika Gambar Mataji.
Hi Krishna Prabhuji, I am from ISKCON Punjabi Bagh, New Delhi, and I'm associated with ISKCON since 9 years. And I'm serving as a book distributor and preaching and cooking and baking for the pleasure of their lordships. And I joined through the book, so I distribute book, and I believe in distributing books because I believe whatever I have got in Krishna consciousness, everybody should get. Thank you, Hare Krishna, Danut Pranam.
Thank you so much. Now we have Anish Gupta Prabhu. I don't know your special name if you initiate it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please set my wishes and all humble wishes to all the devotees. Prabhuji, my name is Vrindavan Basidas. I am associated with ISKCON Delhi, east of Kailash, and I'm involved in Namata under His Grace Prabhuji. Thank you very much. And your blessing, and I'm thankful to you and Her Grace Rukmini Harini Mataji, who has inspired me to join this for hearing.
I'm seeing you
Thank
after
you very much.
20 years the first time, but I've heard your voice all the way.
Thank you.
Welcome. Now we have Nandini Mataji again. Nandini Chandravali Mataji, would you introduce yourself again?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, am I audible to you now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Please accept my humble obeisances. I joined ISKCON in 2015 and I'm from Punjabi Bagh, and currently I'm serving in management services of Punjabi Bagh. So that's.
Thank you so much. Shruti Priya Radharani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danut Pranam to you and to all the Vaishnavas here. So I'm from ISKCON Delhi and I'm serving as a Bhakti Viksha servant leader under IGF under Her Grace Urmila Mataji.
Okay, ISKCON Delhi means east of Kailash.
Yes, yes, yes.
Everything is ISKCON Delhi only. Punjabi Bagh only.
No, east of Kailash.
So I guess Yagyadanish Prabhu, are you in touch with Vanchivadan Prabhu? Has he come or is he going to arrive soon?
Yeah, Prabhu, I'll just check.
So in the meantime, I think we heard from Sumitra Chetri Mataji, so yeah, that's done. So Rishabh Mitra Das. So Prabhuji, would you introduce yourself?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danut Pranam. I am from Bathinda and I am connected to ISKCON since 2010 via youth preaching. So from NIT Jalandhar. So currently we are preaching here along with Senajit Prabhu and Vaikunt Chandra Prabhuji and running many programs here for Bathinda Preaching Center.
We can see many videos off. So should I be calling your name or would you turn up? We have the next one is Vinita, I don't know what's the name, Pradhan.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna to every devotees. I'm from ISKCON Gantuk. I've connected with ISKCON since last 2020. I don't have any specific service, but I try to engage myself in some of these service like prasad distribution, garlands making. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Now we have the next one is Anita Punder. Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. I am from Dehradun and I have joined the ISKCON from 2002. But the process is going on like that.
Okay. And
now
what's
I
your
have to take services. Basically, they don't give me too much of work, only collection work like that.
That's amazing.
Physical work they don't give me, only collection work and other things they don't give me.
Other service anyone can do. Collections are most difficult.
That work only they give because physically I am not very heavy, too fat to do physical work. So basically collection work is my duty, nothing else.
And We have one Bhakti Yoga Club. I don't know if you could rename yourself. Otherwise, we have the next one is Rukmini Hari Sevani Mataji. She's already a Bhakti Shastri degree holder, and she's been coordinating many Bhakti Shastri, ladies batch, and Bhakti Vaibhav also. So she's one of the participants here to learn again the Bhakti Shastri books. So would you like to describe yourself, Mataji, to everyone?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I pay my humble service to all the Vaishnavas. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I came into Krishna consciousness in 2004. Since then, I was engaged in little services, and I served under ISKCON Girls Forum, ISKCON Punjabi Bagh, Delhi. And now, by the mercy of Mr. Gilal Sar Prabhuji and by the mercy of Hitesh Rasal Prabhuji, more services of coordinating these Shastri programs. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for allowing me to do this course again.
She's doing Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav together, and she's coordinating 2 batches of Bhakti Vaibhav and 1 batch of Bhakti Shastri ladies batch, which is still going on. So we are most inspired to see your presence here. Now we have the next one is Vivek Gupta. I think you are done, I guess. So, yeah. So in the meantime, we're expecting His Grace Vanchivadan Prabhu now here. So I'll introduce the speaker for the day. His Grace Vanchivadan Prabhu is a very senior preacher, teacher, devotee in ISKCON. He joined Krishna Consciousness Movement in 1996. And he became a full-time temple devotee in 1999. And since then, Prabhuji has been teaching in many prestigious colleges of India, like IIT Kharagpur and many others, to name a few. And Prabhuji is based in Pune. He's been teaching Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, and Bhakti Vedanta teacher training course, ITC, all across India and in many part of international countries like Malaysia, to name a few, like South Africa. And Prabhuji is a preacher for many stalwart devotees like Rukmini Krishna Prabhu, Rishi Kumar Prabhu in Delhi particularly. And many of his students are temple president, zonal supervisor, zonal secretaries, and they'll be added soon to the GBC new members all across India and outside India also. By profession, Prabhuji is a medical doctor, MD medical doctor, highly competent in material circles, and is a member of ISKCON Board of Education, and he's a secretary for ISKCON Lead Program, which is a training platform for all the leaders across India, North, East, West, and South Zone. So we welcome Prabhu's presence here, and we are seeking his blessings to allow us to do this Bhakti Shastri course and inspire us to, with a proper mood and values, to approach Shastras. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, Rasal Prabhu, for kindly inviting me to render some small service. So should we begin?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so short orientation, about 30 to 40 minutes, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, fine. So should we begin with prayers, or it's already done?
Yeah, the prayers are not done so far. So we had just introduction, so now you can start.
Okay, fine.
Would you lead the prayers, Prabhuji?
Okay, fine. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvatamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so we have a few slides here. Everyone can see the screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Fine. So basically, what we are going to see in this orientation session is the importance of studying Srila Prabhupada's books. And we will be understanding this from Srila Prabhupada himself. So we will be reading various quotes of Srila Prabhupada, where Srila Prabhupada himself is explaining the importance of studying his books regularly. Okay. So maybe before we proceed ahead with showing you some of these quotes, maybe we can hear from some of you as to what is your purpose in joining the Bhakti Shastri course. Why did you come? Why did you join this course? Maybe some of you can.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, to get a deeper understanding of Krishna consciousness.
To get a deeper understanding of Krishna consciousness for what?
For Prabhuji, for advancing in Bhakti.
Okay, for advancing in Bhakti. Okay, fine. Thank you. Somebody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Who have joined this course so that I can understand scriptures better, so that I can preach better.
Okay, in order to preach better. Okay, fine. Thank you. Yes. So you just, anyone wants to speak, can just unmute yourself and speak.
To be able to, Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Jay Advaita. I specifically, my Guru Maharaj has given me the order to preach this Krishna consciousness to especially to Western bodied people, and I'm taking this course to present this philosophy in the best way possible, while keeping Shastra in the forefront, but also be able to present the philosophy in a way that people can relate to.
Okay, fine. So you basically want to preach Krishna consciousness and okay, inspire others to take up to the process. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, Mandaleshwar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, exactly. I am serving here in a youth club. Your students are in my hand. They are doing their service. Just I want to give a proper orientation so that they could also come in Krishna consciousness in proper way, and I could give them proper answers so that.
Okay, fine.
To show my Guru Maharaj and Vaishnavas.
Good. Okay, fine. So, and how to preach basically. Okay, yes, Mataji. Go on.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So as Sri Papa said, everyone should study my books. So reading is one thing. So if you've been reading for so long, but I think that I've read Bhagavad Gita, but I don't understand what is there. Prabhupada says everything is there in my book. So to actually understand the real purport of everything, to improve my reading of Srila Prabhupada and the correct understanding of what is given in Prabhupada's books.
Okay, fine. So to get a good understanding of Srila Prabhupada's books. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. So now we will see a few quotes of Srila Prabhupada, where Srila Prabhupada himself explains the importance of studying his books. So we'll be showing different quotes. Some of you can unmute yourselves and read these quotes, and then we will discuss something, okay? So this is the first one. Somebody can please read this.
Brahmanas mean they are teachers, so every temple should be an educational center, and the Brahmanas should be engaged. They should be properly educated and they should teach others also. In this way, temple means education in spiritual life. Conversation, August 22nd,
Right.
19th.
So Srila Prabhupada didn't want our ISKCON temples to be simply bell-ringing temples. I'm sure many of you may have experience of various temples in India, especially, where people go to the temples, they have darshan of the deities, they may put some dakshina in the hundi, break some coconuts, perform some rituals and walk out. And what happens after they walk out? Nothing happens. They remain as it is. So Srila Prabhupada didn't want our temples to be like that, but Srila Prabhupada wanted our temples to be educational centers like universities, where whoever comes gets a proper knowledge of spiritual life, gets proper spiritual understanding, and brings about a transformation in their life. That is the main purpose of education. So just today, in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 16th chapter, Srila Prabhupada writes a beautiful statement. He says, education and bad character go ill together. Education and bad character go ill together. So that means if there is education, there must be a change in the character. There must be a development of good character. That is the purpose of education. So therefore, if people are being educated, but there is no change in the character, they're not developing good qualities, then there's no meaning to that education. And so therefore, Srila Prabhupada wanted devotees to become like Brahmanas. They themselves should be properly educated in spiritual knowledge, bring about transformation in their own lives, and thereby inspire others also to become properly educated and bring about a transformation in their lives. And so therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying a temple means education in spiritual life. So that education is something which is very important so that people can actually bring about a transformation. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada himself introduced these 4 Sastri courses, Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, and Bhakti Sarvabhauma. And in Bhakti Sastri, Srila Prabhupada himself recommended the study of these 4 books, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and Sri Ishopanishad. Okay, we already answered this question. Okay, the next quote, please read. Somebody please read.
Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 25.278. All of the devotees connected with this Krishna consciousness movement must read all of the books that have been translated. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and others. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat, sleep, and fall down from their position. Thus, they will miss the opportunity to attain an eternal blissful life of transcendental bliss.
Sorry. Blissful life of transcendental knowledge, I suppose. Okay, fine. So here we find that Srila Prabhupada is giving an instruction. He's giving an instruction to whom? He's giving an instruction to all the devotees connected with this Krishna consciousness movement. So here Srila Prabhupada is specifically giving an instruction for all devotees within ISKCON. It is not to some devotees, it is not to senior devotees. He's giving an instruction to all the devotees within this Krishna consciousness movement must read. So you can see the emphasis that Srila Prabhupada is giving. Must read And again, the next word is all of the books that have been translated. This is Srila Prabhupada's expectation from all the ISKCON devotees. They must read all the books that have been translated, especially he's giving an emphasis on the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. And then he's saying what would be the consequence if we don't do this. If we don't do this, then obviously there's only one other option, and that is material life. Correct? Either there's spiritual life or there's material life. So if we don't take the spiritual life seriously, then there's only one other option, and that's material life, and that is simply eating, sleeping, and one will fall down from one's spiritual position, and thus one will miss the opportunity to achieve an eternal blissful life of knowledge. And so therefore, it is absolutely essential to follow this instruction of Srila Prabhupada to remain on the spiritual platform. Okay, next one, please read.
Study Bhagavad Gita as it is and Srimad Bhagavatam and continue to help your God brothers in developing Krishna consciousness. Develop your preaching in this way, and this will be the most successful and appreciated endeavor.
Go ahead.
When you study very carefully all of the literatures which are available, especially Bhagavad Gita as it is, you will have in your grasp answers to all questions that may be put to you. Please encourage the others to read this Bhagavad Gita at least one chapter every day. Letter to
Yes.
Upendra, January 6,
So
1969.
here we find that Srila Prabhupada is telling us how we should preach. So he's saying, develop your preaching in this way. This way means by studying Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And so you can see in this particular letter, Srila Prabhupada is using the word study twice. So in the first paragraph also you can see that. Study, the first word itself, study. And again in the second paragraph, he says, when you study very carefully all of the literatures which are available. So Srila Prabhupada didn't want a superficial reading, just like reading a novel or a newspaper. But Srila Prabhupada wanted us to very systematically, scrutinizingly study his books. And the preaching has to be based on such study. It has to be based on the scriptures. So if we don't study Srila Prabhupada's books and we try to preach, then there is every possibility that we'll simply concoct. So therefore, if we want to present Krishna consciousness in a very authoritative, authentic way, then it is very essential that we read Srila Prabhupada's books. If we read them, then we will be able to simply repeat what Srila Prabhupada has given us, and that will be very much authentic. And as Srila Prabhupada says, this will be the most successful and appreciated endeavor. So if you want our preaching to be successful, that preaching has to be based on the authoritative Srila Prabhupada's books that are coming in bona fide parampara. The second advantage of studying Srila Prabhupada's books that he's saying over here is you'll have in your grasp answers to all the questions that may be put to you. So in our preaching, we may be faced with many questions. And if we want to again answer them in a very authoritative way, then if we read the books, then we'll have the appropriate answers. Otherwise, again, there is every possibility of simply speculating. And if we simply speculate, then neither will people appreciate the answers, nor will there be potency in that type of preaching. So if the potency has to be there in the preaching, then the connection to the parampara is absolutely essential. Srila Prabhupada often gives the example that just like there could be so many lights, but if the connection to the powerhouse is not there, it's all useless. They won't give any light. So similarly, the connection to the parampara is very important in our preaching. And for that, it is very essential that we regularly read Srila Prabhupada's books and preach according to the knowledge that has been given in those books. And so therefore, here Srila Prabhupada is giving again another instruction, and he's telling that we must read the Bhagavad Gita at least one chapter every day. Okay, one chapter every day. In any case, we can read according to our capacity, but the point is the regularity of reading. Of course, we do find in the Chaitanya Charitamrita the story of the South Indian Brahmin, where his spiritual master had told him to read all the 18 chapters of the Gita every day. Of course, most probably there were no purports, but in any case, that instruction was given. So what is important is the regularity. Of course, Srila Prabhupada did introduce Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam class every day within our ISKCON temples. And so therefore, that regularity of reading is something which is very, very essential. Why? Because again, it is just like the example is again given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that reading these books, acquiring this knowledge is just like eating grains. So just like we eat grains or we honor prasadam every day, 2 times, 3 times a day, regularly, how many of us forget eating? I doubt if anyone forgets eating. So that is nourishment for the body, but what about nourishment for the soul? And so therefore, and the soul, as we know, is the most important. I am the soul. So therefore, it is actually, if we are not having the regular doses of spiritual knowledge, then actually we are starving ourselves, because we are the soul. I am the soul. So if I don't give spiritual food, then I'm starving myself. And if I starve myself, then I cannot expect to be happy, right? So therefore, the regularity of reading is something which is very important. Okay, please read.
I want you leaders especially to become absorbed in the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and become yourselves completely convinced and free from all doubt. On this platform, you shall be able to carry on the work satisfactorily. But if there is a lack of knowledge, or if there is forgetfulness, everything will be spoiled in time. So especially you must encourage the students to read our books throughout the day as much as possible, and give them all good advice how to understand the books, and inspire them to study the things from every point of view. Better to boil the milk very vigorously and make it thick and sweet. That is the best progress. So let us concentrate on training our devotees very thoroughly in the knowledge of Krishna consciousness from our books, from tapes, by discussing always and in so many ways instruct them in the right propositions.
So again, you can see here, especially Srila Prabhupada is instructing the leaders. And again, you can take note of the specific words that Srila Prabhupada is using. He says, I want you leaders especially to become absorbed in the philosophy. Absorbed. So again, it indicates not a superficial reading, but it indicates a very scrutinizing and deep and elaborate study, so that one becomes absorbed in the philosophy and become very convinced and free from all doubts. So otherwise, in the Bhagavad Gita also we read that doubts are compared to demons. And so the demons will destroy our Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada is telling us what will be the result if we act in this way, and what will be the result if we don't act in this way. So he says, on this platform, you shall be able to carry on the work satisfactorily. Why? Because then we will know what Srila Prabhupada expects from us, what the Acharyas expect from us, what is the expectation of the Guru Parampara. So when we understand all this, then we can carry out Krishna consciousness satisfactorily. But if we don't do this, then everything will be spoiled in time, So the effect of this may not be visible immediately, but over a period of time, everything will be lost. So therefore, it is very essential that we regularly and scrutinizingly read Srila Prabhupada's books. And another important point Srila Prabhupada is making over here is better to boil the milk very vigorously. So what does this boiling the milk mean? So just like when milk is boiled, what happens? The water content of the milk evaporates. So in one sense, we can say what is unnecessary disappears. So similarly, and the milk becomes very thick and sweet, rubbery. So similarly, so what is that boiling the milk compared to? The boiling the milk is compared to training the devotees, as Prabhupada is saying here, training the devotees very thoroughly in the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So when the devotees are trained thoroughly and the devotees live their lives on the basis of this knowledge, then they will be able to purify themselves of the anarthas. So that is the boiling the milk. So just like the water evaporates, the anarthas will evaporate by the sincere and serious practice of devotional service. And then one will be able to become sweet devotees, as we were saying, good character, devotees with good character who have sweet behavior, very sweet to associate with. So that will happen when we have proper Krishna conscious knowledge and we practice in accordance to that knowledge and we purify ourselves of the various anarthas. Then that's how we can actually become wonderful devotees and we can be good instruments in the hands of the Guru Parampara. Okay, please read.
Nowadays, it seems that many of the older disciples, like yourself, are having difficulty. If you do not set the example for the younger students and take the responsibility for instructing them in the right line, how will things go on? Try to always study our books and see our philosophy from different lights of directions. Become convinced yourself of this knowledge, and without a doubt, all your difficulties of mind will disappear forever, and you will see Krishna face to face.
Yes. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying, one thing is that it's very essential for the older devotees to set the right example for the younger ones. Okay, so if the older devotees themselves don't regularly read Prabhupada's books and have a good knowledge, then we cannot expect the younger ones to do so. Another important point Prabhupada is saying over here, again, indicating how one must study the books. Again, here Prabhupada is using the word study our books and see our philosophy from different lights of directions. So that means, again, it indicates not a superficial reading, but it indicates an in-depth reading and in-depth study. Why? So that one can become convinced of this knowledge, and without a doubt, all the difficulties of mind will disappear. So as we know, the famous example, the famous analogy of the chariots. So the chariot is compared to the body, and there are the 5 horses, so compared to the 5 senses. Then there are the reins of the horses compared to the mind, and there is the driver who is the intelligence. And so therefore, if we want to control the mind and the senses, the driver, the intelligence must be strong in order to control the reins of the horses. So similarly, if we have a strong intelligence, then we can control the mind. And that's how the difficulties of the mind, the agitations of the mind will disappear when the intelligence becomes strong. And then ultimately one will get purified and one will be able to see Krishna face to face. And I'm sure that is the goal of a practice of devotional service, to come to that stage of seeing Krishna face to face and reciprocating and serving him. All right?
Yes, as a sannyasi and GBC, your first duty is to read my books. Otherwise, how will you preach? In order to remain Krishna steadily fixed in Krishna consciousness, there must be a sound philosophical understanding. Otherwise, it will become only sentiment whenever you find the time. Please read my books.
Yes, so here Srila Prabhupada is making another important point, and that is, in order to remain fixed, steadily fixed in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it will become only sentiment. So what does sentimental platform mean? It means mental platform. And mental platform means, what are the 2 functions of the mind? Accepting and rejecting, sankalpa and vikalpa. So on the sentimental or the mental platform, what will happen is the mind will say, okay, when everything is going smoothly, when all other devotees are behaving just the way you want, when prasadam is just very nice and everything is good, then Krishna consciousness is wonderful. But if things don't go with the way I want, then very difficult. One may give up Krishna consciousness. So that is the sentimental platform. And so therefore, if one has to rise above the sentimental platform and be fixed and steady in one's practice of Krishna consciousness, then it's very essential that we have a strong platform of philosophical understanding. So this is like a foundation of a building. So just like there could be a very beautiful skyscraper building, very good architecture, everything may be wonderful. But what is the most important part of the building? So maybe some of you may say it's the foundation. But then, how many people glorify the foundation of a building?
Nobody.
Hardly anyone, correct? People see the building, they will glorify the painting or the architecture or the design, and so many things people will glorify. But who glorifies the foundation? So nobody glorifies the foundation, but yet it is the most important part of the building, especially when there are storms, cyclones. Then the strength of the foundation will be tested at that time. So similarly, in our practice of devotional service, as long as everything is going smoothly, it's fine. But that's very unlikely to happen in the material world. Material world means padam padam yad vipadam. There are likely to be challenges, difficulties at every step. That's the nature of this material world. And so therefore, if we don't have the strong foundation of philosophical understanding by study of Srila Prabhupada's books, then the building of our devotional service may collapse. We may not have the strength to withstand the challenges and the difficulties, and everything could just collapse. And of course, these things do happen. And so therefore, in order to have a strong foundation, it is very essential that we have a proper understanding of the philosophy that is given in Srila Prabhupada's books. And then our practices of devotional service will not be simply on a sentimental platform. So it's not that, okay, I like it, therefore I practice it. No, it's not a question of liking and disliking. I practice Krishna consciousness because it is the goal of human life. It is the very purpose of human life. And so therefore, when we have that proper understanding, then irrespective of the various challenges and difficulties that may come, one will be able to steadily practice Krishna consciousness. Okay, now Srila Prabhupada is talking about another important aspect. Please read.
Yes, reading my books will help you. Philosophy must be there. But if you do not also apply the philosophy by practicing in all temple affairs, like rising early, attending Mangal Aarti, performing devotional service, then simply learning the philosophy will have no effect.
Yes, so here Srila Prabhupada is saying that it's not that we simply read the books. So we are emphasizing on reading Srila Prabhupada's books, or rather Srila Prabhupada himself is emphasizing the study of his books. But at the same time, it's not that we simply become bookworms. So definitely the philosophy also has to be applied in one's life. So whatever instructions that Srila Prabhupada has given within his books need to be applied so that the philosophy actually has effects. As we were discussing before, that the purpose of the understanding of the philosophy is to bring about transformation within our lives. It is not that we simply want to become academic scholars. That is not the purpose of these courses. The purpose is to get this knowledge, understand this knowledge, apply this knowledge, and bring about a transformation in one's life to develop good character. That is the purpose. And so therefore, it is very important that we follow the instructions that Srila Prabhupada has given us within these books so that we can actually bring about a change within our own lives and inspire others also to bring about a transformation in their lives. Okay, so we would also request other devotees to participate in the reading. And right, so maybe somebody else can read, otherwise the same person's read.
There is no need by any of my disciples to read any books beside my books. In fact, such reading may be detrimental to their advancement in Krishna consciousness, except in certain authorized cases. For example, to read some philosopher like Plato, to make an essay comparing his philosophy with Krishna's philosophy. But otherwise, all such outside readings should be stopped immediately. It is simply another botheration. If my students cannot even read my books thoroughly, why should they read others? I have given you TLC.
Teachings of Lord Chaitanya.
I have given you teachings of Lord Chaitanya. What need is there to read Chaitanya Charitamrita translated by someone else? you are right to stop such thing.
Yes, so here Srila Prabhupada himself is emphasizing on devotees essentially reading his books. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying, if one is not reading his books, then why should one read other books? Prabhupada is saying simply another botheration. If my students cannot even read my own books thoroughly, why should they read others? So this is a very important point, especially in the present day and age, where so many books and so much of information is very easily available. So even devotees do have a tendency to read other books, which may apparently be, let's say, titillating to the mind and the intelligence. But we should understand that Srila Prabhupada's books are very, very potent. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada especially has been empowered by the entire Guru Parampara, by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, to write these books. And as Srila Prabhupada himself said many times, I did not write them, Krishna himself has written them. And so therefore, we should understand the potency of these books. And we also, of course, we can see how so many thousands and thousands of people, lives have been transformed by reading these books. And so therefore, especially as ISKCON devotees, it is very essential that we read the books of our founder Acharya, because then we can properly understand what is the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada and how we are supposed to conduct ourselves as members of ISKCON. Otherwise, we will not know what is the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada and how we are supposed to practice devotional service within ISKCON. And as devotees of ISKCON, it is very essential that we please the founder Acharya. That is very essential. And so therefore, first of all, we read Srila Prabhupada's books very thoroughly. And of course, how much we can understand and how much we can realize Srila Prabhupada's books, there's no limit to that. So it is not that one reading of Srila Prabhupada's books and then we think we have grasped everything. So there can be unlimited dimensions and understandings of Srila Prabhupada's books. So therefore, our mainstay reading always needs to be Srila Prabhupada's books as devotees within ISKCON. Maybe some of you have heard this example given by His Holiness Kadam Kanana Swami Maharaj. He gave this example that just like in a meal, we always have some staple items, right? In every meal. In every meal, our staple menu, usually in any part of India, or especially within ISKCON, it always remains rice, dal, sabji, chapati. So these are the standard items we have in a meal. And as a side dish, we may have some pickle or sweet, correct? So I don't know from which parts of India or the world all of you are coming from, but in any part, do we ever find that somebody has only pickle for lunch? The plate is filled with pickle, or only sweet for lunch. Does it happen in any part of the world? I don't think so, isn't it? Right. So the staple menu in any meal in any part of the world almost always remains the same. It does not change. Even after 20 years, 30 years, practically the end of life, it does not change. So unless one has some disease and has some specific requirements. But the point is that similarly, the reading of Srila Prabhupada's books always has to be a staple diet in terms of reading. At no point of time one can think that, okay, now I have read Srila Prabhupada's books enough, and now I will read only some other books. No, it doesn't work that way. So our mainstay reading, as long as we are within ISKCON, should always remain Srila Prabhupada's books, and that is for our advantage, because then we are, first of all, showing our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for what he has given us. As we all know, every night when the rest of the world would be sleeping, Srila Prabhupada would wake up to give us these books. And that is why we are all here, because Srila Prabhupada took that trouble. And so therefore, isn't it our duty to repay Srila Prabhupada, repay the debt to Srila Prabhupada, by at least trying to read these books that he has given us? So therefore, as a mark of gratitude for what Srila Prabhupada has given us, it is very essential that we read his books, because that is what he wanted of us. And so by doing so, then we are showing a loyalty and fidelity to Srila Prabhupada, and we will actually be able to understand the great sacrifice that Srila Prabhupada has done for us, and we will be able to serve ISKCON and the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a very stable way throughout our lives. Okay, please read this.
I'm very much stressing at this point that all of my students shall be very much conversant with the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, and that they should read our books very diligently, at least 1 or 2 hours daily, and try to understand the subject matter from varieties of angles.
Okay, so again, Srila Prabhupada is stressing the point that one should be conversant with the philosophy and read the books very diligently. Again, so you can see in practically all the quotes that we have been showing you, Srila Prabhupada is not talking about some superficial reading of the books, but he's stressing on very scrutinizingly, diligently studying the books. And here he says, at least 1 or 2 hours daily. Okay, please read.
In my book, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness is explained fully. So if there is anything you do not understand, then you simply have to read again and again. By reading daily, the knowledge will be revealed to you. And by this process, your spiritual life will be developed. You may please me the most by the reading my books and following the instruction daily.
Right. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying, if you don't understand something in my books, the solution is not to read some other books. The solution is to read the same Srila Prabhupada's books again and again. By reading, then we'll be able to understand and realize the subject matter, everything will be revealed. And Prabhupada is again saying here that we should not only read, but we should also follow the instructions therein. So here, what is being said is one incident that took place in Mayapur. So this is also on record. You can hear it. So this is in 1974. Srila Prabhupada was giving a Srimad Bhagavatam class in Mayapur. And almost at the beginning, when Srila Prabhupada began the class, one devotee stood up and he began to walk out. And as soon as the devotee began to walk out, Srila Prabhupada immediately asked, where is he going? And somebody in the audience says, he has some service to do. And Srila Prabhupada, he became so upset. He said, what service will he be able to do? Without hearing and chanting, what service he will be able to do? It will simply be ugra karma. Ugra karma. Ugra karma means what? Materialistic work. So then Srila Prabhupada says, without regular hearing and chanting, what service can he do? And then Srila Prabhupada says that without the regular hearing and chanting, then after some time, devotional service will simply become a burden. And then he says, then you will ask, why has my old spiritual master given me this huge burden of the deity, the Archa Vigraha? And he says the Archa Vigraha will become Galagraha. Galagraha. Gala means neck. So Galagraha means a huge stone tied around the neck. So the deity will become a huge burden. Devotional service will become a huge burden. Because just like materialistic work, how many people like to do materialistic work? People do jobs, business for what? Not so much because they love the work. Mostly it is to earn livelihood. That's all. How many people will be ready to do a job if one does not get salary? Very unlikely, isn't it? Why? Because one does not love the job, one loves the money and the sense gratification the money buys. And so therefore, similarly, in Krishna consciousness also, if one does not regularly read, hear, chant, and purify the consciousness, the devotional activities also will simply become a burden. And how long one will carry the burden? At some point, one will give up. And so therefore, in order to purify one's consciousness and perform the devotional activities in the right consciousness, in the serving mood, with the right service attitude, for the purpose of pleasing Guru and Krishna. So if one wants to practice devotional service in the right consciousness, then it's very essential that we purify the consciousness by regular hearing and chanting. And so therefore, that is what Srila Prabhupada tells. And then of course, Srila Prabhupada goes on to say that if within our temples there is no regular classes, there's no regular hearing and chanting, then over a period of time, these big buildings will simply become places where pigeons will come, they will lay their nests, they will build their nests, and they will pass too. So therefore, the important point is that in order to maintain our spiritual consciousness and perform devotional activities in the right consciousness, it's very essential that there is regular reading of Srila Prabhupada's books. Now, so till now what we have seen is various quotes where Srila Prabhupada himself is emphasizing the reading of Srila Prabhupada's books. Now, one or two quotes showing Srila Prabhupada himself instituting these various degrees and these various examinations. Okay, so somebody can read this, please.
I think you may have already heard that in January of 1970, we will be holding an examination among all of our students on this book, and those who will pass shall be awarded with the title of Bhakti Sastri.
Continue.
With these examinations, I wish to encourage all my disciples to very carefully learn this philosophy of Krishna consciousness, because there are so many preachers required to bring this message to all of the corners of the earth.
So you can see how Srila Prabhupada, so we are not doing something new. So you can say Srila Prabhupada right in 1969, and there's another letter right in 1968, where Srila Prabhupada is talking about these various courses, okay, and examinations. So that's how Srila Prabhupada was such a visionary. And right from that time, Srila Prabhupada was making all these plans to have these courses, ultimately so that devotees scrutinizingly read his books and they can preach effectively, because so many preachers are required to spread this message all over the world. Okay, so here in this quote, you can again see that Srila Prabhupada is talking about all these various courses, Bhakti Sastri, those passing will get the title of, then he says, then Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, those passing will get the title of Bhakti Vaibhav, and then there's Bhakti Vedanta, and Srila Prabhupada says, I want all of my spiritual sons and daughters will inherit this title of Bhakti Vedanta, so that the family transcendental diploma of Bhakti Vedanta will continue through the generations. Those possessing the title of Bhakti Vedanta will be allowed to initiate disciples. Maybe by 1975, all of my disciples will be allowed to initiate and increase the numbers of generations. This is my program. So we should not simply publish these books for reading by outsiders, but our students must be well versed in all of our books, so that we can be prepared to defeat all opposing parties in the matter of self-realization. So you can see when Prabhupada is writing this, 1968. Right in 1968, Prabhupada has given all these courses, the names of all the courses, and what should be taught in the courses. Everything Prabhupada has given. Okay, so at least, we can try to execute what Srila Prabhupada has envisioned. And again, these are similar quotes where Prabhupada is talking about, especially for Brahmanas. He says, Brahmanas should have Bhakti Sastri. So now, of course, Prabhupada has written these letters right in 1976, but we are actually beginning to implement them now. But right in 1976, Srila Prabhupada said that Brahmanas need to have Bhakti Shastra. Okay, fine. So these are some of the quotes where Srila Prabhupada is talking about the importance of studying his books and the importance of taking these courses. And right. Okay, we'll read this last one from the Bhagavad Gita 8.28 purport. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from the age 5 to 20, he may become a man of perfect character. And this beautiful statement, study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. That is the purpose of studying the scriptures. So it is not simply meant for academic degrees. It's not meant simply to show off our knowledge. It's not meant simply to memorize some verses, but the ultimate purpose of the study of the Shastras is to bring about a transformation in our life and develop good character, by which Krishna will be pleased, the Vaishnavas will be pleased, and that's how we can perfect the human form of life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So I think so our time is up.
If somebody has any questions to ask from Kapuji, we would request they can ask now. If you have something to ask, we would request if devotees can take one or two questions for you. So there are a few hands raised up, I guess.
Okay, anyone can ask.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. So my question is that there is a quote where Prabhupada was telling that we should read the books from different angles, different points of view. So can you please throw some how we can read?
Okay, fine. So understanding the subject matter from different angles of view means there is one siddhanta, there's one concept, there's one topic. And then we try to understand that from different scriptures, from different scriptural references, and we can see what different shastras are saying about that point. So just like, suppose we are trying to understand about Vaishnava Aparadha, then we can see what the Bhagavad Gita is talking about it, what the Bhagavatam is saying about it. We have examples from the Bhagavatam about Vaishnava Aparadha. We have examples in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about Vaishnava Aparadha, and what are the different consequences. So we have one topic, one siddhanta, and we try to understand it from the viewpoint of different scriptures and different examples, so that we get a deeper understanding of the subject.
So, Prabhuji, how practically just when we take a theme, or just like you told about Vaishnava Aparadha or any topic, so how should we should scan through different books, or how to get from different?
Yes. So of course that happens with practice, and as we read different scriptures and all that, then we will be able to do this in a better way. And so therefore the study of the Shastras is always good in the association of devotees, because then different devotees may have different insights and different deeper realizations on a particular topic. And therefore, by studying scriptures and the association of devotees, as all of you are doing here with these courses, so then when different devotees come together, they'll be able to contribute to a deeper understanding of the subject. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My question is one of the quotations by Srila Prabhupada, where he's particularly saying to read only his books and prohibiting to read other books. So we see there are a lot of books which are being published in ISKCON from spiritual.
Okay, so I understand your question. So as we did give the example of the rice dal sabji and the chutney, correct? So I'm sure that example is well understood. So similarly, our reading of Srila Prabhupada's books should be the main reading. All other books which bona fide devotees within ISKCON are writing, they can be like reference books in order to help us better understand Srila Prabhupada's books. But at no point of time, Srila Prabhupada's books can be substituted by these other books. So we can definitely read the other books, but they should be used as reference books. That means our main reading always has to be Prabhupada's books. And in order to better understand Prabhupada's books, one can use the other books. Does it help?
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Something else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I have one question. In one or two slides before, it came that Prabhupada is saying that one who has a degree of Bhakti in Vedanta will be given permission to give initiation. So is it low? But now we are following this. So this would be one of the criteria. Now just wanted to.
No, nothing has been finalized so far.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Just 1 second.
Is there anyone who still wants to ask question?
Okay, fine. I think so that's sufficient.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So once again, thank you, Rasal Prabhu, and all the devotees for kindly giving me a chance to render some small service. So we will look forward to your association sometime in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for enlightening us with your inspiring word and words of Srila Prabhupada. And we seek your blessings to start this course. It's already started. And we look forward for your association. Prabhuji is a teacher for this course also. Prabhuji will be coming in the unit 2 to teach us and give us more of his association. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So now we will proceed ahead, and I'll introduce you to the Yagya Prabhu. Are you here with the video on? Could you say Hare Krishna here? So
yes, Hare Krishna.
So this is Yagya Prabhu. He is the overall coordinator for this course. He's from ISKCON Rohini, and he's the one who was pushing me to start this English batch in Rohini, and others also joined from Punjabi Bagh and other part of the India and across the world. So he joined Krishna Consciousness in 2016 or 15, I guess. And since then, he was serving ISKCON Youth Forum and doing youth preaching called this campus preaching. He was taking many classes for the Bhakti Viksha leaders as a leader. And he was serving in Mayapur Institute. For a few years, he served as a overall coordinator, and he coordinated with many teachers. He was responsible for assessment for CBS, OBS. It's just not a study program, this Bhakti Shastri. Prabhupada wanted anybody who wants to be Brahman in ISKCON, the second initiated devotee, he has to have this Bhakti Shastri degree. And for one who wants to take sannyas, the formal sannyas in ISKCON, he must have this Bhakti Vaibhav degree and this Bhakti Vedanta. If you want to initiate disciple, then you must have coordinating for this Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Shastri courses in Mayapur. He was coordinating there in Mayapur Institute. And now he's a overall manager in Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya, which is like the very big institute in ISKCON, responsible for training and devotees in different degree programs, including Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, IDC course, teacher training course. So he was responsible for assessment and overall coordination there. Now he's a part of, since he's a part of ISKCON Rohini, he's serving here also. And he will be responsible for your CBA. Now you would know what is CBA, what is OBA, what is Shloka test. So now you'll be aware about the assessment part. So now we are going to the next part, the part 2. So first part is the importance of Shastric studies, Bhakti Shastri degree, reading of Srila Prabhupada books. Now comes the second part is how you should prepare for your exams. So study means there has to be some examination. So we'll present you the examination standard, which is the part of ISKCON Board of Education. How much you must score in each exam, in each unit, your attendance and your essays and your shloka recitation. So now I would request Jagya Danishpu to present slides and take a lead, and he will be the overall coordinator for this course. He'll be responsible for making your assessment, closed book assessment, open book assessment, and shloka. We'll be conducting 3 examinations for you in this entire course. And to be very frank, this course is a fast track course. You'll be completing entire Bhakti Shastri in just 3 months. Every day you will have 2 hours of class. So what does it mean? Every day you must read almost like a chapter a day for Bhagavad Gita, maybe half a chapter a day, something like this. Every day to hear a class of 2 hours, you must read at least 1 hour a day. That's how you can complete the entire Bhakti Shastri course in 3 months. This course could have taken, say, 6 months or a year. That probably would have been more easy for people to do, but we wanted to have a rigorous training course so that devotees can do in just 3 months, because devotees don't have time, and so they just want something in a quick manner. So we started this course in just with a time gap of 3 months, and I have a request. If you don't come prepared with your reading, this is not just to scare you, but if you don't come prepared with your reading, what will happen? You will attend the class, You'll go through so many verses, the teacher's teaching the classes, but you won't be able to absorb yourself and grasp much of the things. So my request to you, I've seen devotees are requesting the course is going fast. It will be going fast for sure, but at least if you come prepared, you'll be able to absorb yourself and able to ask questions, what is happening, what is going. So this is called Purva Swadhyay. We have given you module. In Purva Swadhyay, you have questions given, which you can come prepared with your reading. If you have done your reading, you'll be able to answer those questions, and you'll be able to grasp what the teacher is teaching. So this is my request, and we would like to have one request to you. Usually, we request the devotees to take up some coordination role in these days of your Bhakti Shastri, which is a 90-day program almost. If one of you could volunteer for coordination means what? You can start the meeting, you can be a host, you can create a co-host to the teacher, and then you'll be responsible for putting information in the group that today's exam and today's this such and such teacher is coming. So yeah, so you'll be guided by Yagdanesh Prabhu for this volunteer service, coordination service. So you'll be assisting Yagdanesh Prabhu for this entire thing. So if one of you could take up a lead and would like to volunteer for the coordination under Yagdanesh Prabhu, we would like to welcome you. Are you ready, any one of you? So you can assist, you have time, you can start meeting, you can end meeting, and this meeting will be live on YouTube every day. Everything will be recorded on the YouTube channel. It's called Rohini Institute. Later on, you can watch the video. So this is a hand raise for I guess for volunteership, I guess. So we have 3 hand, but the only requirement is you must be available throughout the program. If you don't come, the meeting will not start. But at least you have to take a responsibility that you will be starting the meeting every day, you will be ending the meeting every day, and you will be responsible for recording and putting on live YouTube. So Gaurav, are you ready to take up this responsibility?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can take it.
We have 3 more, 2 more, I guess, hand raise. We have this Rishabh and Krishna Mataji. Do you think you can do this service every day? Monday.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So Gaurav will request Rishabh Prabhu and Krishna Mataji because they are 2. So one of them, if they are available, so they can take up the as a backup. So we have a backup there. So Yagdanesh Prabhu, now you take up a lead and explain all the standards. It's called Board of Education. What mark, what weightage, what percentage that you need to pass these exams. So I'll take a leave again then. And thank you so much for the presentation. And
sorry, before you go, Marcel Prabhu, I have a question. Can I ask that now?
Please.
So could you also go through with the outline of the course? Because yes, I get it. Like we need to know about the examination, but like in how many days we're gonna do Bhagavad Gita? Who are the teachers? And like other books also. Like, so what's the course modules like?
Course module is sent to you already. The schedule of classes, I request Yagdanesh Prabhu if you could send on the WhatsApp group so everyone is on the same page. When you have a class, when is the next teacher coming, and when the unit is ending, and when is your exam. So entire schedule of the course will be sent to you in the WhatsApp. So you'll be aware about all the classes, all your unit exams, and the next teacher is coming, and who's teaching what. Okay. So that will be on the WhatsApp group. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thank you so much. So Yagdanesh Prabhu, I'll take a leave, then you take a lead now. And yeah, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna everyone. So we'll quickly go through the course curriculum and everything, exam guidelines. So I'll share my screen now. So I hope you all can see my screen, right? Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, student orientation session. So, the importance part has been covered by His Grace Vanshivardhan Prabhu, so we'll not go into that. Aims of Bhakti Shastri, aims of Shastri courses as well. So, we'll quickly come to the classroom norms. Okay. Yes. So here are some classroom norms which we expect students to follow. First is that participants should raise hand to speak. Okay, so I can see that some of you were raising hands in Vanshivardhan Prabhu's class. So it is always recommended that if students have any comments and questions, so if they want to speak, so they should raise hand in the Zoom. So virtually they need to raise the hand in the class to ask the questions or anything. So next is participants should always remain quiet. You know, if you don't have anything to say, if you don't have any questions, so you should remain on mute always. Okay. And then, yeah, it is all about raising hand and maintaining decorum in the class. So participants should be present 10 minutes before the scheduled time, like today we all did, right? So it is recommended that the point is that all the students should join before the teacher joins, actually. So, you know, if the teacher comes and see that there are only few people, you know, joining, some 10 or 13, 12, some, you know, and the total strength of the class is 33 and 35, then it is very discouraging for the teacher, you know, whether to start the class or whether to wait for the students to join. So the point is that all of you should join before the teacher joins, actually. Okay, so point is this. So participants should understand and allow other students to respond. Okay, so maintain a decorum in the class. Okay, if someone is speaking, so please don't you know, uh, please don't interrupt the other devotee who is speaking. Okay, so participants should always deal respectfully with the facilitators and the elderly students. Yeah, and the course should be done with the intent of outperform others. The mood should not be done with the intention of outperform others. The mood should be to appreciate others' performance, not envy them. Okay, so here mood is described, and there are some other classroom norms. Okay, so all the students are expected to come in an appropriate Vaishnav dress, and Vaishnav dress means that they should have tilak on their forehead, and they should have kanthi, and the dress should be appropriate, you know. So yeah, all the lectures should be attended. If you know, we have a criteria in the assessment that according to BOX exam guidelines, we have a criteria in the assessment that attendance should be 75% in all the units for each student, you know, to sit for the CBA exam, to appear for CBA exam. So below 75%, we can't allow students to give CBA exams for particular unit. Okay, so if you want some you know, holiday, or if there is some emergency in your family or something, so you can just let me know, okay, before you take a holiday or off from the class. Okay, so you need to tell me, you need to report to me that Prabhu, that this situation is there and I couldn't join, I'm not able to join class today. So prior information is necessary before you take off from the class. Okay, yeah, then the course should be taken in cooperative spirit rather than competitive one. Okay, sometimes what happen is that when we publish the results, of course we don't publish the results in WhatsApp group or anything, you know, on the public platforms, but we publish the results personally. But sometimes what devotees do is they compare the marks with you know, with their friends, or you know, so that you know, that thing will create a competitive spirits among them. So it should not be taken as a competitive in a competitive spirit, but it should be taken as a in a cooperative spirit. Okay, one should learn from others mistakes. Okay, what these mistakes I shouldn't have done. Okay, I should learn from this assessment or assignment which my friend has prepared. So it should be taken as in cooperative spirit, not in competitive spirit. Okay, so any kind of criticism or mocking of the fellow students will not be tolerated. Yeah, and we also encourage your active and voluntarily participation in different services. Like some of you have volunteered for some services, so I'll contact all of the volunteers who has raised the hands. So we'll definitely give some services to them so they can participate better. One benefit of volunteering is that you will be always connected with the course and what's going on, and you know, you will be always aware of that. So yeah, so that's the benefit of that, in serving voluntarily, taking some services, doing some participation in the course. Okay, so next is yeah, Prabhupada is saying, so somebody would like to read this quote of Srila Prabhupada? Anyone can speak.
Just like if you enter into my educational institution, if you don't surrender yourself to the rules and regulation of the institution, how you can get advantage of the knowledge imparted by the institution? Everywhere, wherever you want to receive something, you have to be controlled, or you have to be surrendered to the rules and regulation. Just like in our class, we are imparting some lessons from Bhagavad Gita. And if you do not follow the rules and regulations of this class, it is not possible to receive the knowledge. San Francisco, September.
Yeah, so following the rules are very important to take the knowledge, right? Prabhupada is stressing at this point. So now we'll come on the assessment part. So for the assessment part, I'll make some notes. Yeah. So yeah. So there are 4 assessments in first we'll cover the books. Okay, there are 4 books which we will cover in this Bhakti Sastri curriculum. First is let's start with Bhagavad Gita. Okay, then second is Nectar of Devotion. Third is Nectar of Instruction, and fourth is Ishopanishad. Okay, and there are 4 assessments in each book. Okay, first is OBA. OBA stands for Open Book Exam, Open Book Assessment. Okay, and second is CBA. CBA stands for Closed Book Assessment, and third is Shloka, which called VMA, Verse Memorization Assessment. Okay, and fourth is Sadhana. Okay, So open book assessment is assessment where like you have to write an essay. Okay, so I hope you have gone through the student handbook which we have given you. So after each unit, okay, after each unit, like for Bhagavad Gita we have 3 units. We cover Bhagavad Gita in 3 units, and for rest of the books it is only 1 unit which is there, okay, to cover. But in Bhagavad Gita we have 3 units. Okay, so in total we have 6 units, right? So for each unit, like for Bhagavad Gita 1 to 6 chapter is a 1 unit, 7 to 12 is the second unit, and 18 to 13 13 to 18, sorry, is the third unit. Then Nectar of Devotion is 4th, Nectar of Instruction is 5th, and Ishopanishad is 6th. So after each unit there is a section of open book exam questions, right now we are talking about we are explaining about open book exam, open book assessment. So after the each unit in the handbook there are some questions of open book. So there are 10 or 12 questions on an average. Okay, so from those questions you have to prepare only one essay, only one question, and you have to write an essay on that question. So we'll just open a student handbook now, and I'll show you where that questions are. So yeah, so I hope you can see the student handbook, right? So yes, so this is Bhagavad Gita unit 1. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 to 6, and there are chapters, summary, and some overview has given, and after this you see, yeah, here are the unit 1 open book assessment questions. So you can see here 10 questions are there, and the course coordinator will give one question out of these 10 questions to you to prepare an essay for that, okay, for that question. So I have a detailed document. I will share that in the group, how to write an essay, how to write an OBA. Okay, so basically it is a simple thing, like you must have done in your school also. So one topic is given, and then you have to write an essay. So some introduction you have to give, some attractive introduction and the main body, and then you have to give some conclusion to that. So this is open book exam. So open book means the books are open, you can take references from uh, from the Bhagavad Gita, and from Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada lectures, Prabhupada quotes. So you have to prepare of course there will be a deadline to submit this assessment, but within that time you can prepare it with your own pace, and on the deadline you have to submit the question to us. Okay, so here are the questions. After each unit this section is there. So we'll give one question in the starting of the unit, like tomorrow is we are starting Bhagavad Gita 1 to 6 chapters. So we'll give you one question from Bhagavad Gita 1 to 6 unit, and we will give you the deadline also to submit the assessment. Okay, so at that deadline you need to submit the assessment. You can prepare it on your own pace. Okay, yeah. So next is close book assessment, right? So this is a kind of assessment which is decided already. So we fix a date of the CBA exam in the schedule only. So it is like, you know, in the school, you know, we have been given a particular assignment that you prepare this topic. Okay, you write an essay for this question, and you know, you can prepare it at your home at your own pace. So this is something like OBA. But the annual exams, you know, so annual exams, the date sheet used to come, and then we have to go to the examination center with our admit card, and then we, you know, the examiner is there, right, to invigilate the students. So these all things are there. So it is like CBA. So one date will be given to you, okay, that on this date, you need to give your CBA. So all of you have to come to the Zoom virtually only. You have to join the Zoom with 2 cameras. Okay, so one camera, like I have a laptop, so I am, you know, giving a session on this, and I have one phone. Okay, so this phone also, you know, you log in Zoom this class only with your phone also. Okay, and on laptop also. It can be 2 phones also, like I can give session from the phone also, and I can log in into Zoom by this phone also. Okay, so you need to you know, for invigilation purpose, this is the monitor camera you have to keep. Okay, second device, this is the monitor camera. So you have to configure this camera in such a way that it shows your screen, your table, and everything, that what you are writing and everything, your screen. Okay, so that all things the monitor camera should be able to capture. Okay, so one date will be given, and all of your CBA, we have kept it like this, like Rasal Prabhu has said, that it is a very rapid fast course. So we have kept all the CBAs of this batch on Sundays only. Okay, so Monday to Friday the classes will be there, and on Sundays we will have exam, but not every Sunday. We will you know, after the teaching of Bhagavad Gita 1 to 6 chapter ends, then after that only we'll conduct a CBA exam for that particular unit. So we will have, like, we have 6 units, right? So we need to write 6 OBAs in whole Bhakti Shastri curriculum. Okay, to complete whole Bhakti Shastri, we need to write 6 OBAs. Okay, and for close book we have to give, like, 6 units are there, so 6 CBAs you have to, 6 exam will be there for CBAs you have to give. And verse memorization, next is verse memorization. So you need to memorize 45 verses from Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and Ishopanishad. So you have in total, like, there is certain number out of 45 in Bhagavad Gita. You have to, you know, memorize the verses. Then 4 in Nectar of Devotion, 4 in Nectar of Instruction, and 2 shlokas in Ishopanishad. So in total 45 verses you have to memorize. Now how you will submit the verses, how you will give the verse memorization assessment. You have to record your videos of the verse memorization verses. So what you need to do is you need to take your phone, turn on the camera, front camera. Okay, put your phone in front of you and record your video. You need to recite the shlokas, mantras, the Sanskrit mantras, the English translation of each verses. So in one video we expect students to record at least 4 verses. Okay, so 4 verses for, you know, for any of this unit you can record. Like Bhagavad Gita, in first unit Bhagavad Gita 1 to 6, you have to memorize at least 12 verses. So 4 verses in one video, So you can make 3 videos in which 12 shlokas, 12 verses can be covered. So 3 videos you can submit, right? And for shlokas, for shlokas, assessing the shlokas, we can have some volunteers among yourself, those who can mark the shlokas. I'll explain everything. I'll give a proper presentation that how you need to mark the shlokas for devotees. So anyone here would like to volunteer for the shlokas? So we need one Mataji and one Prabhuji. Okay, so because Matajis can send her shlokas to Mataji, and then Prabhujis can send to one Prabhuji. So I can see 2 volunteers are there. So Piyush Gulati Prabhu, you can take up this responsibility, right?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And for Mataji's, Shruti Priya Mataji, right?
Yes.
Shruti Priya Mataji, you can take that.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll have a meeting with you, Mataji. I'll have a meeting, like call with you and Piyush Gulati Prabhu. I'll explain everything. So all the devotees need to send their shloka videos to them on WhatsApp only. Okay, for each unit. And Mataji, it is not a heavy task. I'll explain you how to do it. Okay, and Prabhuji. So it is not a heavy task. I'll just explain, and then you're good to go with that. Okay, so I'll just share my screen again. Yeah, so 45 verses in total. So list of verses is there on the page number, student handbook page number. If you come to the student handbook page number 14. Yeah, so student handbook page number 14, you can see unit wise structure of shlokas. The shlokas are divided according to the unit. So in unit 1, Bhagavad Gita 1 to 6, 2.7 shloka you have to memorize, 2.13, 2.20, 2.24. So in total 12 verses are there in unit 1. Then in unit 2, 14 verses. Then unit 3, 9 verses. And unit 4, Nectar of Devotion have 4 verses, and Ishopanishad and Nectar of Instruction have 6 verses. So 2 in Ishopanishad and 4 in Nectar of Devotion. So you all can go through this page on student handbook page number 14. You can see that. Okay, so yeah, one thing is pending in CBA. So in CBA there is a question bank, same like we have a question bank for OBA questions, right? I have showed you. So similarly for in CBA also we have a question bank. Okay, so after each unit you can see this, there is a section called Purva Swadhyaya. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen, right? Gaurav Prabhu, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
So there is a section Purva Swadhyaya after each unit. So here some questions are mentioned, right, up till 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the question bank. So during the teaching of Bhagavad Gita 1 to 6 chapter, you need to prepare these questions, okay, during the teaching. Okay, so and after, and all the questions from in your CBA will come from this question bank only. Other than this, nothing will be asked in the closed book exams. Okay, so all the questions are there itself after each unit. For second unit also the Purva Swadhyaya section is there. So you can prepare all these questions for your CBA exam. And for OBAs, we'll post a question in the WhatsApp group only, that this is the OBA question, and you need to prepare an assignment, an essay on this particular question, and then the deadline will be given, and you can just you can prepare at your own pace, and on the deadline you have to submit that OBA assignment to me on the mail. Okay, so yes, so I'll come to my PPT again.
Just sorry to interrupt, Jagadish, can I ask a question here?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prajay, I just wanted to ask, like, can we have some shared cloud space where all the important documents and everything get shared? Because sometimes in the WhatsApp conversations, it is very difficult to find those things, like OBA question we need to do for the particular module. Those these information and as well as any files and those things shared, so that
Okay, we'll create. We'll create a Google Drive space. We'll create a link. Yeah, I'll, all the important links I'll put in the group description. Like you can see that this meeting link, this meeting link will be same for every session of Bhakti Sastri. So I have put that in the group description. So all the important link I will put in the group description, then you can quickly access those links. Okay, so we'll create something there for that, Prabhu. Okay, no worries. Yeah, so next. Bhakti Shastri assessment. So as I said, open book assessment have 65% of weightage in all in whole curriculum of Bhakti Shastri, and the passing marks is also 65%. Okay, so one OBA is of 100 marks, and then simply you have to score 65% to pass the OB examination, OB assessment for each unit. Okay, then 15% of whole curriculum of closed book exam, and then passing percentage is also 65%. Okay, so one CBA exam will be of 50 marks each, so somewhere around 32.5 marks you have to score to pass the CBA examination. Okay, then verse memorization is 10%, and you need to score 65% in that too. And then class participation is 75 marks. Sorry, 10%, but you have to maintain 75% of your attendance in each unit. Okay, and in all the units you have to pass these 4 assessments. Like for Bhagavad Gita 1 to 6, you have to pass OB also, CB also, memorization of verses also, class participation also, sadhana also, right? So you have to score above 65% in the assessments, and attendance 75% you have to maintain in each. For 7 to 12 also is the same. So when you pass in all the assessments in all the units, then only the Bhakti Shastri certificate will be processed. Okay, and as per the ISKCON Board of Examination rework policy, we allow only one rework or retest in any of the particular assessment. So if you are if you score below 65%, then we'll give you one more chance, but in that chance you will certainly score above, you will certainly pass the exam, because when we check the exam, and then we see that there are some improvements, then we also give some feedback. So according to that feedback, you can improve your OBA or assignment. So in second chance you will certainly pass. So there is any rarely anyone I see that in the second chance also he is like not scoring above 65%. So it is very easy. So don't take it very as a burden that there are so many assessments and so many criteria to pass the Bhakti Shastri. So it will be easily done. So don't worry. Okay. So closed book exam. So closed book exam are close-ended questions only. So just like you need, just like the question will be like write the names of 6 aggressors. Yeah. So you just need to write the names of 6 aggressors and nothing more need to be explained after that. So just that only. So it will be close-ended answers only. Okay. And duration of test will be 1 hour. CBA exam duration will be 1 hour only. Okay. Passing percentage is 65%. I already told. Verse memorization also I have given. Yeah. Class participation and sadhana. So sadhana is like your participation and attendance only. So practically we can't monitor your regular Mangalarti and everything, japa and everything. So in virtual Zoom sessions we monitor your participation in the class and your behavior in the class. That is the that's how we assess your sadhana in this. So open book exam I have explained. So I'll just schedules. So someone is asking for the schedules. So it is a rapid fast course. Sorry, the date was incorrect here, but the you will be having 6 teachers, more than 6 teachers, particularly in this course. So we will be having association of more than 6 teachers. And generally we have only 6 teachers in one Bhakti Shastri, but in this we will have some 8 or 9 teachers teaching in this particular batch. So 39 chapters overall we will be covering, including Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, and Bhagavad Gita, and we will cover 1145 verses in whole Bhakti Shastri curriculum. This is also including Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, and everything. Okay. So yes. Yeah. So thank you all very much. This is the whole assessment pattern. So anyone has any question regarding this, so they may ask. So yeah, Dayanvita, Bhakti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, as you mentioned that verses, we have to create one video which will be having 4 verses with translation.
Yes.
And that to be shared through a WhatsApp only.
Yeah.
Like a normal video we share to the other person.
Yes.
So it is the normal file size of a video is 16 MB. So would we be able to share the 4 verses in a one video together, or we can create a 2 separate video?
No. You can send it like if you can't, in case. So in English batch, the students are little technically sound, I believe. So for them, I think that you can create a cloud space also, and you can upload your videos on that cloud space, and you can share the link to the assessor. That is very easy.
I just suggestion, Yagadanesh Prabhu, there is also an option of attach as a document.
Your voice
So
is
we can
distorting, Prabhu.
attach.
Gaurav Prabhu,
Is it
your voice.
audible? Audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is an option of attaching as a document. So that allows of attaching,
Yes.
sending a huge file.
Yes.
100 200
Yes,
MB
yes.
you can send in.
Yes, I know. Yeah. So that we can do. Like I'll explain you. I'll give you a short video of that. I'll give a tutorial for that, how to send. No worries. You can ask me if I forget. Okay.
One more question, Prabhuji. Like for OBA, as in the book itself, for each unit, there are few particular questions are given, as you showed in the the while screen sharing. So like you will be giving the questions among those only, or you will be providing a new one, a separate one?
From those questions only, from that question bank only, we'll give you one
And
question.
everyone will be getting a different question, or
No,
it will be on
everyone
same
will get same question only.
same.
Yeah, same question only. Okay.
And what is
So
the marks for verse memorization assessment? Percentage you mentioned that is the 10%. Passing marks is 75, but what is the number of the
65.
marks?
Yeah, passing
65.
marks in shlokas are 65, and
Yeah,
each
65.
shloka is of 10 marks. Ultimately, your percentage will be calculated out of 100 only. We'll scale it down, everything. So we'll calculate everything in percentage only. But for your reference, each shloka will be of 10 marks. 5 marks for the Sanskrit and 5 marks for the English translation. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Mandaleshwar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, that you have given the manual, no? That it is mentioned that preaching activity and mood of the Prabhupada and some
Yes.
there mentioned some. We should go through books or we should go through other references also.
So, like sometimes in the question, it is explicitly mentioned that you take references from this particular section. So you need to take references for that particular section. But on the theme section, like you have mentioned, understanding, preaching application, and practical application. So you need to write your answer. So you need to write your response in a way that it shows, like if you let's suppose the question is of preaching application and a question is given, so you need to write your response in such a way that uh, how you can utilize this principle to preach the Krishna consciousness to others, how this principle is relevant for the others who are not in Krishna consciousness. So you have to write in a preaching mood. Okay, but sometimes there are questions which are of personal application. So you need to write in a mood like how I can utilize this principle in my personal life. Okay, like for Ishopanishad, there is a question how you can utilize a Ishavasha principle in your life. Okay, so Ishavasha, what is the meaning of Ishavasha? Anyone?
So it is means we are giving our own interpretation in between, or it should take from proper lectures only.
Proper lectures only. It is simple, bro. Yeah, it is first verse. So Ishavasha means everything is owned and controlled by the Lord, and everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So how you can utilize this principle in your life? How you see that? So you can write that everything belongs to Krishna. So this electricity and everything we are using, so it belongs to Krishna. It is Krishna's energy. So you can give reference to Srila Prabhupada, that Prabhupada used to say that whenever we see some unnecessary use of electricity, so we can switch it off. We can switch it off on unnecessary lights and everything. So this is how you can you have to give your response in such a way that it shows that how you are practically applying this principle in your personal life. Understand?
Okay, bro. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So any other questions? Okay, no questions. Good. So okay, so I need to share one Prabhupada code book also to all of you. So in that there are various quotes of Srila Prabhupada, like for each unit, particularly for each unit, for 1 to 6, where in somewhere you can get references from Prabhupada lectures and morning walks, and there are so many quotes in that. So you can use that those quotes in your OBAs, and you're working on your assignment when you work on your assignment. So you can use those quotes. So I need to share that Prabhupada quote. And one thing about the schedule, I'll show how your schedule look like. I'll share that schedule in the WhatsApp group also. But for your reference now, I'll share. Okay. So yes, I hope you can see.
Yes,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
so 18 September, today is the orientation. And now starting from tomorrow, 19 September, we will be having Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. He will be teaching first 3 chapters, first 2 chapters of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is little, I need to update this schedule little bit. Okay, so Gaurang Darshan Prabhu will be coming from tomorrow, and then Premanjan Prabhu, then again Vanshivardhan Prabhu, yeah, Prema Bhakti Rasa Mataji, and Kamalochan Prabhu, Nitai Sevni Mataji, and then again Premanjan Prabhu. And you can see here are some dates for the CBAs also. Okay, so you can see CBA Bhagavad Gita 7 to 12. So I need to update the schedule. I will update the schedule and send it in the group. Okay, so you can refer to this until further update. Okay, so thank you all very much. Anyone has any question or no questions? Okay. Yes, Rukmini Sivani Mataji.
Prabhuji, just wanted to ask something. Will there be MCQs in CBA?
Yes, the most important thing. So earlier we used to have subjective questions in CBA. So it is a great news for all of you that we will be doing CBA in multiple choice question format, MCQ format. So there will be 4 options given for each question and you have to choose the right one. So yeah, so it will be very easy for all of you. Okay, so it will be in MCQ format. Okay, so rest of the things, yes, Dhyanvita Bhakti Mataji.
Prabhuji, can you share the PPT also?
These PPTs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share. Yeah. Okay, so rest of the things, like more detail about the exams and everything, we'll keep sharing in the group. But principally, we have shared everything to you. So thank you all very much. I'll take your leave. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada ki jai.